Yeah. So first off, just want to thank all the subscribers. Appreciate you guys. Much love. So today what I want to do is I want to do a second walkthrough of the neighborhood I grew up in, El Monte. And so I'm going to show you different things like the schools I went to, actually the place where I got busted at, and just different things. Actually, I want to take you through the Memories of El Monte car show. I don't have the actual footage of the car show, but I could show you where it was. So we're going to do that. Let's go ahead and get that started here. We're gonna start off at the first continuation school I went to. So when I got kicked out of Monte High, I ended up going here to Valley Lindo. You can see it's Fernando R. Ledesma School. So it's right at the edge of Monte. This school is on the border of El Monte and Baldwin Park. And back in the day, it looked nothing like this. Right now, it looks really nice. Back in the days, it was just trailers. My mom and pops used to go to Valley Lindo, but they said when they went there, it was in South Del Monte. And when they went there, it actually they had daycare for like kids, so they took me there. So that's pretty trippy. But yeah, so this is how it looks now. You can see it's being built. It's currently still under construction. They have new buildings now. None of this was there when I was there. When I went there, I actually wasn't even able to really go to the school. I had to go to another part because it was for 16 years and older, kids 16 years and older. I got there when I was like 14, so they sent me to like a little kid section. Look, you can see they're still building it right here, and that's Baldwin Park over there. This is the riverbed. Sometimes after school, people would go out there and blaze out and shit. But yeah, I had to go to the little kid section, and it was way in the back. And yeah, so it was a trip. I only lasted there for maybe about 2-3 weeks. I ended up spitting on somebody, and they kicked me out for that. After that, I went to Zamora Park and then to the boys club. I showed you guys Zamora Park last time. Let me show you the boys club, but I'll show that later. So right now, this is where I committed the crime, where I went to the youth authority for. So we were looking for some guys. We threw off a rival name. We seen them chilling right there in the corner, like where those cars are, right there. We seen him chilling right there. He all banged the fuck out, right? Like he looked like he was banged out. So we threw something at him, we threw a sign at him, and he ranked it basically. We ended up finding out he was ranking it. We were passing him up because we're like, this fool probably from nowhere. This fool's a ranker or whatever. One of the homies ended up recognizing him. So we pulled up in there, and it was fucked up, man. Think about it, like I don't know. It's just one of those things where you kind of feel like you have to act because you can't let something like that slide back then. You know what I mean? So he was standing right there. We were pulling up, and that's when we decided, fuck it, we're gonna go in there. We're gonna go after this kid. We were all kids though. He's actually a little older than me, to tell you the truth. So he's standing right there. We jumped out the van. We were in the van. And yeah, we started just bombing on this fool right here. And the crazy thing is, he said when he testified against me, he brought somebody with him, but he was by himself. That's what I always tripped out on. Like, where the fuck were you at? I don't know. But yeah, it is what it is. It actually, like I was just tripping out because I was like, man, this fool really testified. Like, that's fucking crazy. I didn't think he was gonna do that. This was the boys club. It's now the Mountain View Family Center. And yeah, so let me go back to the previous one. So yeah, that's where I committed my crime, but I ended up getting away, and yeah, I ended up getting busted at Zamora Park afterwards. So this was actually the boys club before. It's now something else. We used to have our car washes right here. You come in through one side, and then you exit out right here. And we'd wash cars for the homies that passed away. In the media, they try to make it seem like that was a bad thing. Like, oh, they're having car washes, and like, what the fuck? We're not selling drugs there. We're not doing anything. Like, what we're trying to do is raise money for, the family of our homies that passed away. Like, why should the family be shitted on? Why should the family not be able to do something? If the community wants to come together and donate, we should like let them. Like, but they made it seem like it was a fucked up thing. I never understood that, but that's the media for you. But yeah, so this is where we had the car washes. And the school when I went there was in there, in that building right there. And we were just like, this was a fucking gangster ass school for real. Like we did whatever we wanted to there. We just fucking chilled and just hung out. And the only thing that sucked is sometimes our PO, and we all had the same PO, Miss Adams. She would roll through, and we'd be like, "Oh fuck!" So if you were high or drunk, like you get caught up and shit, catch a violation. But yeah, this is us back in the day, right there in that field. So that's the field I just showed you at the boys' club. That's how it used to look back in the day. To the far left hand side, you'll see my boy, Little Sinner, rest in peace, in a tank top. I'm the one next to him in a white shirt. And I got another one. Me, Bobby, Cubs. And this is crazy because this I think this sums up the gentrification in Monte. This is supposedly one of the oldest. It was one of the oldest buildings in Monte. Uh, I heard. I'm not sure how true it is, but it was built by a Confederate sympathizer by the last name of Dodson, which is one of the streets in Monte. So there used to be a house right here, and they ended up tearing it down. There used to be a whole park right here. This was like a sports park. Kids played baseball and all that shit, right? They tore it down and said they were gonna build a new park, and they still have it. That's fucked up. So it's like fuck the kids, right? Like what the hell? So the kids don't get their park, but they ended up transitioning one of the parks to a dog park, and they're building these big ass houses. Like what the hell? Why the fuck can't the kids get their park? Like whenever it comes to giving the kids something, it always seems like there's never enough money. I always trip out on that. But the developers are building these houses, and there's popping up all over El Monte. So El Monte is quickly changing. A lot of gentrification, and I think that's with a lot of areas. A lot of areas you see that there are changes. I know in LA it's not as easy to change them because a lot of them are like historic sites and shit. So you can't just go around tearing everything down. But in El Monte, this was a park. So all this was a sports park. And yeah, that shit's gone now. You could see like sports park, and they're gonna build it on the other side too. And they're gonna have like I think they said condos and stores on the bottom, and all kinds of shit. And right across the street from there is the Valley Mall. Now this is where the Memories Monte car show was. So right here, this rent center used to be the substation. So there was a huge police presence right here. So if they needed to arrest you at the car show, like you go to jail. Like fuck, they're right there. So you would come in right here. There'd be the entrance right here. You'd pay the funds to get in or whatever, and it'd be a little like you'd see the cops right here. There wouldn't be too much going on here, but it was a trip. I remember when I first went there. Memories of Monte car show. It was dope. It used to be sponsored by used to be thrown by KRLA, and no, not KRLA. Was it KRLA? I think it was KRLA. Art LeBeau, when he was on KRLA, he used to throw the Memories of Monte car show because the reason why is because back in the days there was a song called Memories of Monte by the Penguins, talking about the El Monte Legion hall where they used to have dances and shit back in the day. And so they had that song. As soon as it was like tore down, they had that song Memories of El Monte. And Art LeBeau actually released the Memories of El Monte album. It's like a compilation kind of. And yeah, so that was a trip, and it was crazy. They would block off the streets. So over there where that street is, they'd block that off. Boom, they blocked that off right there, and you would have all kinds of cars like lowriders and all kinds of different vendors right here, and it was pretty big because this is just the beginning of it, right? So you'd have all kinds of different contests, all kinds of, and even smaller performances. I remember they'd have smaller performances by like local acts and just like lesser known artists, right? So yeah, you would just walk through here and you would see all kinds of shit. I'm telling you, it was crazy, like everywhere. Like you see girls everywhere, and you'd be like, damn, it was crazy. At least for me, I was a youngster. I was when it first happened was 97. How old was I? About 13, 14 years old. Yeah, so I used to trip out like damn, like, and you would see homies all over the place, like, all kinds of homies and shit. And this was still all this was still the Memories when I went their car show. And they remember I told you they blocked off the other streets. Well, they had to do the same thing here. They blocked off right there, and they blocked off right there. And like I said, they had a huge police presence, so you weren't getting through there. They had security like a motherfucker. They'd have. I remember they had like different kind of cars right here, trucks, different vendors and shit. And it was a trip because there was a lot of spots because it's such an open area that they had to block off a lot of spots. And yeah, so it was a trip, man. Like you had all kinds of shit going on. Let me just go ahead and fast forward it a little bit to right. Let me see right here. This is what I tripped on. See those houses? I think they got. Let me rewind it a little bit. Those houses right there. I think they got free entry because it was right in there. Like this is where all the real car show shit was happening. Like this area is so large that you had a huge area for like different things going on, different events, different contests and shit like that. So the other ones you just saw them, you saw younger, less established artists performing, but right here is where all the real car show shit happened. And then let me take you to where they performed at. This was like the main stage all the way in the back right here. So you'd go up here and they'd have a big stage. I think when I went, I remember I went all 3 years, but when I went like to see the actual performances, I think it was Delinquent Habits, Rolls Royce, and I can't remember who else, but that was a stage right there. And this is the Valley Mall right here. So that was the back. That's where the Memories of Monte car show was. Right here is it's crazy because I'm not sure how much longer this could be because they're building bigger stores around, and they might directly. These are all small businesses I'm gonna show you, and they might take them out of competition, like take them out. So this is right here, El Monte Mall, the Valley Mall. Back in I think the was it the 50s or 60s, like outdoor malls were like the rage and shit. So they started building it, and you could see not as lively as it used to be. Back in the day, it was really lively. You used to have a lot of Mitchie's used to be right here. Mitchie's was fucking sick. Like Mitchie's was kind of like Greenspans, and they sold like all kinds of like pachuco shit, like dope ass things. I used to. That was like it was crazy. This area. Hold on, let me see. There's Boost. Yeah, this area over here, we used to steal from a lot. In there, we used to go in the back. We'd take this because there was an entrance in the back. We'd go grab all kinds of clothes and run out. And then like the one place I would never steal from though was Mitchie's because I was like, man, I got to be able to get back in there. So yeah, like you could see now things changed. It's they used to be full like all kinds of gangster clothes. Now it's just like bicep clothes and shit. So you have that. You can see a lot of businesses shut down right now, unfortunately. Yeah, not a lot happening like before. Back in the day, it was a real active spot. Real active spot. Hopefully this spot stays open. That's the Golden Ox. I think my son's friends' parents own it. But we've been going there since we were kids, like little ass kids. You fucking hungry if you at the mall, hit Golden Ox and shit. And then a staple of El Monte, right across the street. You can see right here that shit's closed down right there. Actually, that's crazy. I'm telling you, that like so much shit. They're gentrifying it, and a lot of the small businesses are gonna start suffering because a lot of the needs of the community members, like the needs have changed. So they get rid of a lot of people, and they're no longer gonna be there to purchase the items that were there for them because they end up moving to like Moreno Valley or Fontana, other spots. But yeah, this is a dope ass spot right here, Sally's Shoes. This is like a staple in El Monte. Sally always hooks it up, got this dope ass shit. A lot of my kids' first shoes were from Sally's Shoes. So let me fast forward it a little bit, and right here, oh, dope ass Mexican food right there. Look, you see everything's closed down. It's crazy. All right. And over here's this was the trolley stop back in the day. So there's a trolley system. You would go over there, the trolley would stop. You would sit over there and you'd wait for it to pick you up and shit. So it was a trip. I wanted to get a dope ass picture, like, oh, this is the benches, and this just sums up Monte right here, low key, because you could have some nice shit all over, and then you'll see like a ghetto ass bench. But yeah, so that was the Valley Mall. Hopefully it survives gentrification, and because I think it's something that makes El Monte very unique, and I really hope that it's there to stay. And you can see right here, I'm going to the Clings. We talked about clings in previous episodes. I remember Big Lepke said he went to the clings to pick up heroin back in the days, the 70s and 80s. That shit was a fucking heroin like place where like you could get a gang of heroin back in the day. Um, I used to see fools slamming right there and just tripping out. Like, damn, these motherfuckers is tripping, right? One time I thought people were breaking into a car and they were like, keep through, shot, little homie. And I started looking and they fools started slamming. I was like, oh shit. Remember Beaver said that back in the day, people like cops wouldn't even go in there. Yeah, so this is the clings right here. You see this little dog, mad dogging me. You could see old school hit ups on the cement. Yeah, so got the old school hit ups right there on the cement. It is basically one side of the streets. One side of the street that's all apartments and shit. The dog's going crazy. It's looking at me. What the fuck you doing here? So that's all it is, all the way down like that, right? And back in the day, hold on, let me forward it a little bit. Go inside. So back in the day, yeah, all this used to be cracking. I'm telling you, like heroin slanging like a motherfucker. You can see it's cleaned up now. You don't really see anyone out there. It's not all like that. There used to be hit ups all over the wall. The wall was all fucking plaqueated on. But right here, it's just chill. Like, but it used to be like fucking nuts. And inside of those carports, like in these alleys and shit where we used to chill at, and like it used to be crazy. It used to be a trip. I'm not really like, I'm from the south side of Monte. That's where I'm from all of Monte. Monte's a hometown, right? But I grew up on the south side. But this is definitely a spot that we would go chill at and shit. Go check out some of the homies and shit back in the day. So yeah, you could see it's just like a few different streets there, and it's one way in and one way out. I think that's the reason too why cops weren't going in there. It's one way in and one way out. You can see those are the streets, one-way streets, and at the end, let me go ahead and rewind it. There's a wall, so you hit a dead end, so it's hard for anyone to infiltrate that shit. But yeah, that's the clings right there. We're still in the clings, and you have to go about a block or two up to exit out. We actually even had Aztec dancers run through one time. That shit was a trippy. That was a trip. But yeah, like shit like this, these carports, we would go inside and chill in there, and just hang out and shit. Yeah, that's how it used to be back in the day. And this is a spot that I was never too familiar with. I seen it, and I know it has a lot of history. It's called Mclaren Hall. And Mclaren Hall was a place for like foster children. And I don't know what the hell was going on, because you could see it doesn't look, it's huge. It's a huge facility. And let me show you, like, these walls, right? Look, it's like they have cameras and shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, these walls. Hold on, let me show you here. You can see there's an entrance right there. It's just weird the way it's set up. It kind of looks like, without the barbed wire, of course, but it kind of looks like jail without barbed wire. Look how huge that wall is. And this is to hold minors that were taken away from their parents. But look, it shows you how big that is. Look how small that door is compared to everything else. Look how it's a huge fucking walls, and it's a huge facility. So these are big ass walls and shit, and it's meant to keep kids in, so they can't escape. You can see that you can see old school hit ups. They paint over everything. But yeah, so it looks like, but I just trip out. Like, I don't know too much about what goes on in there. I know it no longer exists. I don't even know why they had it. Like, why would you take kids to this area? Like, what did they do there? If anyone knows more about Mclaren Hall, shoot a comment below. You can see another hit up they didn't get. They didn't get the thing right there. But yeah, it was a huge, huge facility. You can see that's the end of it right there. It was just a huge facility. I don't know too much about it. I know that people were in there. They kind of said how much it sucked. How it was a fucked up facility. But yeah, that's another walkthrough of Monte. You could see the like I said, the boys club no longer exists. Pioneer Park that I showed you, that no longer exists. That's the sports park I showed you that they're building the stuff around. Valley Mall barely exists. Clings aren't how they used to be. What else did I show? Cedar, that's still the same. And Mclaren Hall is shut down. I'm not sure what they use it for now, but that's shut down. So it's crazy. A lot of changes in Monte. So, but I think that's like everywhere. Things just change. Nothing's gonna stay the same, and it's crazy because I'll walk through Monte, and there's times in certain areas where I feel right at home. Like, oh yeah. There's other times where it seems completely different. Like, what happened? Like, kind of lost. It's crazy. Gentrification's a motherfucker, but that's the way it is. Unfortunately, you know what I mean. And hopefully soon, we'll have the residents that are there able to buy homes there and take advantage of the good shit they build. Because what they often do is build new shit so that the old residents can't afford it. That's fucked up. But yeah, that's a walkthrough. I'll try to get another one going. And with that, we out. Peace.